What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Hope you guys are good. This is Coach Brian live. I don't think that's the title of this video. Let me see what the title of this video is. You guys there? Looks like it's filling up a little bit. What did I put? Oh, the title is What's Up, Everyone? All right, let me see if I can change this. Or add to it. Coach Brian live. I don't know if that makes any difference. Probably not. So, all right, guys. What's up? Late one. Yes, Evan. Hello, Mackenzie Reynolds, Dexter Morgan, you, sir, who is Russian, I cannot pronounce. What's up, 357 Kill Bill in the house. What's up? All right, it's 9 a.m. in South Africa for CJ. Hope you guys are doing well. My day was good. Oh, wow. Brandon, thank you so much, brother. Figured I should pay you for some of the videos you posted, man. Quick question, how do I counter the damn ghost escape? You know, what's up, Bill? Bill Parkinson, always there, always hanging around. Thank you, Overhand. So Brandon, you want to counter the ghost. So let's say you have your right hand with an underhook inside control. So your opponent's head is right here, okay? My right hand is my underhook. He's grabbing my arm. He's trying to ghost me. Okay, one thing I don't want you guys to do as a defense is fall into the trap of sitting to Keskatami. Where people have the underhook, they sit. It's probably the most common reaction. I won't say it's the high level reaction, but it is a very common reaction. I've actually had a black belt world champion that I rolled with use this kind of defense. He sat to right hip down Keskatami. To me, this is not a good answer to the ghost. A lot of people use it to frustrate a ghost player, but it's the wrong play. If you guys have seen my videos and kind of like all the little roads that I go through, if someone sits, I think that it's not a good thing to do. I think it can frustrate you for a long time if you don't know how to deal with it, but I think eventually it favors the ghost player. The proper way to defend the ghost, in my opinion, is that the moment that you feel the guys start to go for the ghost, one, you can either retract your elbow and bring your elbow up on top of his hip or stomach. That's one of the easiest ways to start, elbow in the rib cage. That will shut it down completely. If you cannot do that, a good ghost player won't let you get there. But if you can do that, if you can't do that, you should shift all of your weight towards your left hand. So I will release the crossface, the arm that's crossface. I'll release it. I'm not going to play this game. I will pulse my hand on the mat. I'll shift all my weight towards my left knee, and I will retract my right elbow. I will pull that out. I will make the ghost player learn how to control the arm and arch and play the whole system. If somebody's just doing a basic ghost, it's going to destroy it. You'll be able to place your right knee on the belly. It'll shut everything down. So either right elbow on the hip, rib cage, stomach area, or your right knee on the belly is going to shut down the ghost. They're not going to be able to move from there. But that is the best reaction, in my opinion. It is not to stay down and hold, which is what most people do. Most people will smash. They think the shoulder of justice is going to save them. But a good ghost player knows that it's only a matter of time. And when I say this, guys, I want you guys to understand, like, I'm speaking from a point of view with a lot of experience in the technique and dealing with, I'm talking about really good guys smashing me. And again, there's so many people that will look at my videos of the Ghost or even the Phantom now that I let out the Phantom. And I get a lot of positive, but I also get a lot of people hating on it because they just haven't explored it. They spent so much time on the basics, which is not bad, but they practice the basics, and they're also, this is the problem with principles. They're adhering to principles like elbows in, and they feel like the Ghost exposes their arms. But what they don't understand is that rules can be broken because of other reasons. And you can't be so hard and closed-minded and locked in a box that you think you can never expose your arm for whatever reason. I mean, there's many times where we expose our arms in grappling, and it's not a bad thing. There's a time and a place for everything. And it's certainly a very good escape if you're skilled at it. So, and I can't wait for the future, because something I have planned for you guys, which I planned years ago. I had it planned years ago, but I just haven't let it out. And no real good reason. But I'm going to bring in the Phantom and the Ghost. I'm going to tie the systems together, how they work together. And then my future goal is to, if I won't do it myself, which I may, either that or one of my best students that does it really well, because I've been going through a lot of injuries lately, with my knee. So I'm having problems with my knee, my back, my neck. So I haven't been training. I keep trying to get back on the horse and train again, and I keep getting injured. So I'm just going through a tough time. I think I tore my knee. So unless I need to get surgery and come back, but the point is, someday when I get in shape a little bit, I want to run a video where I basically let everyone try to smash me in side control. And my goal is to not escape with your basic stuff that most people learn. My goal is to escape using the Ghost Phantom system that I've kind of like created, sort of. Nobody's created. I mean, it's all moves that I've learned from other people, but I mishmash stuff together, and certainly it's unique. I mean, you're not going to find the stuff that I've taught on my videos from someone else unless they've most likely seen my videos. You'll see the basics, but you won't see all the details. So it's not something that I've learned from other people. It's something that I put together myself. So, but having said that, the basics I learned from other people. So I don't mean to say that I made everything up. That's not what I'm saying. So anyway, so Ed T, do you ever plan on doing a structured quick solo grappling drill series? I did do one. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe it wasn't super complete for you, but I did do one, Ed. If you look up solo drills, Teach Me Grappling, it should come up. Or drills, Teach Me Grappling, it should come up. Yes, Ed, and I'll try to get something from Majid too. Bill Parkinson, who's the best you ever rolled with? In my opinion, I would have to say above BJ Penn, I will say I think that Javier Vasquez is the best grappler I've ever rolled with. I think that Javier Vasquez is he's a guy that a lot of people don't know. He is popular, but he's not like as popular as others. Like, for example, I've rolled with BJ Penn, but I feel like Javier Vasquez is a overall more complete, better grappler overall, more skilled. But BJ Penn is a freak of nature. So, yeah, Javier Vasquez. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's also very. He's got a good YouTube channel, and he's awesome. So, I've always loved Javier Vasquez. He's a grappling genius. If you guys think I know some stuff, Javier is somebody I really look up to. Anyway. It took forever to unlock the Phantom on Battlefield 4 back in the day. I don't even know what that means, CJ. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Ed. I know I'm scattered. Guys, it's like when I did this live tonight, I'm so scattered. Like, I won't even plan it. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, you got to plan better. I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm so busy. I don't reply to a lot of comments anymore, guys. I'm getting so busy, and I wish I could, but you know, it's just it's just not the way I'm hardwired, I guess. But I'm very, very busy, and it's very hard for me to get back. I do want to say something. There was someone that commented, I think it was like Jiu-Jitsu Times. They did like a survey of like who's the best YouTube grappling instructor. And then I wasn't listed. It was like 4 other instructors, great instructors. And then I had quite a few people mentioning my name. And I didn't go on there and like comment, but I did see you guys say some nice things, and I appreciate you guys so much. So thank you guys for doing that. That was like on a Facebook page, Jiu-Jitsu Times, I believe. And those other instructors are also great. And but I appreciate you guys that try to get out there on the internet and stand up for me and help me out. So thank you. All right. So how did the role with BJ Penn go? Can you get into the details? Yeah. I was very small. I was probably like 145 when I rolled BJ Penn, and he was probably 180. So he had like 35 pounds on me. And honestly, he didn't use much technique. He just totally smashed me. He just crushed me. It wasn't even close. I honestly, I was kind of upset about it because I felt like, he should have recognized that I was smaller, and he shouldn't just like beat my ass. But like, I think that maybe he was just trying to, there's no reason for him to show dominance. He's BJ Penn, but the point is, like, I think he noticed that I was doing well that day. It was at we hosted him for a seminar at Big John McCarthy's, and whatever he I know that Big John said, "Hey, BJ, roll with Brian," and so when we rolled, he really just beat the shit out of me. I mean, it was way too strong, way too heavy. He didn't give me a chance at all. He didn't honestly he didn't surprise me with anything. It's not like he was doing any like serious crazy technique. He just basically muscled everything, in my opinion. But I'm not saying he was all strength. That's not what I'm saying. But when a guy has 35 pounds of weight and he grabs your arm, like, if he wants to pull it in, he's got 2-on-1. You're not going to be able to stop it when you have 35 pounds of weight advantage and you're BJ Penn. So I definitely wanted him to exchange with me technical and maybe lighten up on the weight and lighten up on the strength just a little so that we could have a better exchange. That's what I wanted. That's not what I got. I got BJ beating my ass. So taking my back, putting a muffler on my mouth, and basically forcing me to give up the neck and rear naked choke me. So that's how that went. Anyway. Let me move on. Oh, how would you train your fighters to fight against someone like Kobe or Usman? I would do I guys, unless I like really like watched closely Kobe and Usman to break down little stuff off the top of my head, I mean, it would be the basics. It would be like, all right, let's keep continuing to improve our striking, um, our offense, our defense, become better strikers, obviously. Work on takedown defense, work on takedown offense. I really build a game plan personally, like an all around game plan. I don't work with fighters that don't know. So there are people out there that don't know how to do certain things. My fighters, I'm not saying they're the greatest of all time, but they know how to do at least a little bit of everything. So we're going to try to work on improving our grappling in all aspects: our leg locks, our top, our bottom, our takedowns, our defense, our striking, offense, defense. So it's hard for me to give you a really good answer. I'm sorry. So yeah. BJ Penn has dexterity for sure. Do you have students from outside the US, Eric? No, not really. Geo 630, Coach, how do I support on YouTube? You can do that through the YouTube membership, which we just started just a little while ago. Oh, by the way, guys, anybody YouTube members, I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. for the membership. I'll be posting one very soon. Again, I've just been freaking strapped. I have something already lined up. I just gotta do the work. I just gotta find the time to get on my computer and do the work. That's all. But go to YouTube membership. You can also go to Patreon. Patreon gives a little bit more of the money back to me. They take a smaller percentage. YouTube membership takes like, I think like 30%. It's kind of crazy, but it gives me the opportunity to kind of like drop some video content for those that want to like contribute. So that's what's cool about YouTube membership. Right. Do you have any tips for beginner MMA grapplers? What to focus on? I mean, overhand, I would focus on learning. If you're a straight up beginner, I mean, getting down the basic positions, learning how to do basic fundamental movements, rolls, shrimping, hip escaping, hip heisting, knee over toe drill, good stance drills, pummeling, underhooks, overhooks. That's what I would start out with. Good basic tie-ups, learning the basic submissions. I always say rear naked choke, arm bar, triangle, Kimura, Americana, all those. Arm triangle variations like DARS, guillotine, of course, and then, some basic leg locks. Unboxing Artem Lobov. Why do you always try to tool Maja? It's so obvious. I'm just having fun. Maja's a good friend of mine, so I just like busting his chops. Maja is a different character. He and I are not alike. I mean, we're alike in some ways. Like when it comes to our philosophy on fighting is very similar, but like we're both attackers, so we believe in attack. That's our philosophy. We have a very attack-minded philosophy. We it's like chess. We want to be the light pieces. We want to be white. We don't want to move second. We always want to move first. That's how I believe. I think you got to get after it. I think that's usually the best game plan. It's not for everyone, but he and I both agree on that. But we are very different in other ways. So I like to give him shit all the time. So thank you, CJ. That sounds exactly how BJ would act. He's a real class act. Yeah. BJ was good, for sure. Brandon, what's your grappling background? Do you ever train in the gi? I don't train in the gi anymore, Brandon. I did train a little bit in the gi back in the 90s, and then I've sporadically put on a gi throughout 2000 until maybe 2012, like 13. I sporadically put it on. I put on a gi probably 10 times in the last 8 years. I probably put a gi on 10 times. So not much. As far as my grappling background, I was a wrestler first. Then I got into jiu-jitsu by way of Robert Ferguson, we were kind of considered ourselves submission wrestlers. I kind of like met up with Felicia O. This is the quick story, but I've trained with many jiu-jitsu guys and many great jiu-jitsu guys. Been to many seminars. Watched many videotapes back in the day on VHS. And through competitions you learn. But there was a time when I was training a lot with Felicia O, Jimmy Tang. These were all Jean-Jacques Machado black belts, and we trained together quite a bit. I used to train a little bit with Johnny Ramirez, who is a new breed black belt. We were all friends, good friends. We used to get together on the weekends and train all the time. And I've been honing my skills for quite a while, and it's just something I love. So that's my background. Have you heard about the upcoming UFC roster cuts? I think Jim Miller might be getting cut. Yeah, I haven't. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I've been busting my ass doing so many things I work on throughout the day, and I'm just not. I'm not up to speed on everything. If you roll with BJ Penn again, how much better do you think you would do compared to your old self? No, I think I would do better, but I definitely would love to be the same weight as BJ when we roll. So I I'm not saying that weight is everything when you guys roll, but I would actually like to talk about this subject because I want people to really understand how much weight matters. When when two guys are equal, they are equal, but you give one of them a 10 to 20 pound advantage in weight, it just like it tips the scale. It really changes it. Okay. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I'm talking about they are equal, dead equal, but you give 10 to 20 pounds to one, it literally it'll look competitive for the first 3 minutes, and then it'll change. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Because what they see is they watch like a tournament where they have the open weight division, um, the absolute, and then they'll see someone like a Marcelo Garcia take on Sean Jahibario or something like that, and they'll see the smaller man beat the bigger man. And I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm just saying what I truly believe, guys. Look, Marcelo is that good. He's that good where he's so much better than his competition that he could afford to be lighter and still defeat them when he was at his best. Um, it's very difficult when two guys are close to the same level, and I am in no way saying I'm close to the same level as BJ Penn. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is I'm a man, and I would like to test my skills against the guy who's the same weight as me, not not a guy not a guy who's got 35 pounds on me. Honestly, you can't even tell a whole lot. It's really difficult. Like, sure, I've been lighter than people, and I've beaten like black belts that were bigger than me, but I'll tell you how I feel. Honestly, I feel like, well, they're a lot bigger. If it's a black belt that's 40 pounds bigger than me, and I tap them, I'm like, I'll be honest. I've already like I just dropped a little line of call it respect or whatever, and it doesn't mean that I don't respect him. I'm saying like I think less of him because unless he's allowing me to do it, if he's fighting me when it's happening, you shouldn't lose. If you it clearly shows a difference in skill is what I'm trying to say. No, it's not about ego. It's not about that. I'm just saying it clearly shows. So if you guys see a Kyle Terra, a really small, amazing jiu-jitsu guy beat some bigger dudes, he's clearly better than them. It's not just that, technique wins and all that. Of course it does. But I'm saying it proves he's clearly better. Clearly. And it's not even close, is what I'm trying to say. Because if you put them in the same weight class, oh my gosh, it would just be they would get demolished. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. I have two students. They're training together, right? And one, let's say, they're both purple belts. Let's say two purple belts. One has a 20-pound weight advantage over the other purple belt. Now, in their mind, they're like, "Oh, well, we're both purple belts," and the smaller one loses to the bigger one, but it's razor close. It's razor close. And the bigger one gets one guard pass at the end of let's say the end of the 5-10 minute roll. So the smaller one feels like he lost. The bigger one feels like he won. Me as the coach, I look at it and I go, that's ridiculous. I go, you have 20 pounds on that guy. Yeah, but he's a purple belt, just like me. No, you have 20 pounds on him. You should smash him. I'm sorry. And when I say 20 pounds, remember that's all relative because 20 pounds to a 135, 155 is way different than 180 to 200, for example. That's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking more of like lighter weights. I'm like, come on, 155 versus 135. The 155er should smash them if they're the same level. It should crush them. So, and again, I'm not saying I'm talking about everything even. That's when you'll see the weight matter. And anyway, that's my take on it. Believe me or not, it doesn't matter. So Coach, could you do a tutorial for Granby and some of the ways it can be used? Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I have a lot planned for you guys. In the future, I could name some of the things I have planned. Um, some of the things I have planned are, I want to do a. I taught tonight. I taught a little bit tonight to a couple guys. Just a simple. They were beginners, and I taught them how to do a guillotine. And I was thinking about it, and you know what I did? It's a great idea for a video. The traditional guillotine, traditional, where you pull up and you arch, which a lot of people say don't use anymore. I taught them that guillotine, and then I showed them the more modern guillotine, where not the high elbow, but like basically where you get more on your side and you crunch. And I showed them how to lock their legs a little bit better, and then how to connect your body to your opponents. And what I realized was, like, as I was teaching it, I was thinking this would be a great lesson for you guys, and I didn't film it. Sorry, but I'll have to film it this week. But I think it would be a great video for you guys, just to kind of like go over that, the old traditional guillotine, and compare it to and contrast it with the more modern guillotine, which is taught more these days, the crunching style guillotine, and which you can do with arm in or arm out. And even the old school guillotine you could do with an arm in. It's just not that effective. But on a very basic level, it is. I mean, if you get a guy who doesn't know anything, your simple guillotine will catch anybody, So, yeah. So that's one idea I have for you guys. But there's so many ideas. Again, the Phantom and the Ghost video, the combo, submission off of the Phantom. There's a lot I have in store in the future. More takedowns for MMA. I've been putting it off forever. For years, I've been putting off the Crackdown series, using the high crotch crackdown for MMA or Jiu-Jitsu, to talk about that. There's so much. There's crazy amounts. And then obviously you haven't seen from Anton in a while. Anton's always got great stuff. Majid, we've been pumping out Majid content for a while. I just dropped a video tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed. He shows some crazy shit a lot. Tonight I dropped that video on the volleyball kick where, I mean, Majid's pretty insane. I know some of it is a little, like, for some people that are more basic, it might be a little too fancy, but either way, Majid's pretty amazing, and we have a lot of stuff in store. So, let's see. Bill Parkinson. Dude, you're like saying something super inappropriate. Don't be an idiot. So, being heavy has its downsides too, which some smaller guys don't understand. P.S. Don't confuse your weakness with my strength. Yeah. Well, being heavy has its downsides, but when I'm speaking of heavy, I'm not talking about a guy being heavy and being not being able to move, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm mostly speaking about the weight classes that I used to compete at. And again, guys, when you guys are like 135 pounds and you go with a 155er that knows how to move, it's just not the same. It's not the same at all. Once you hit, there starts to change. You go to 175, 180, you get to 190, they start to change a little bit. And I think a guy who's 175 can deal with a 200 pounder a lot easier with that 25 pounds. He can deal with that a lot easier than, let's say, a 135er dealing with a 155er. That's all I'll say. Dexter Morgan just got bronze at my nationals, and just realized how much strength matters firsthand. Never rolled with someone same weight with that much of a stretch. Yeah, or strength advantage, he means. Yep, you got to do more. I mean, like, it's a part of it, Dexter. You gotta be strong too. I mean, like, and if you're not strong, you got to be that much more skilled. So, Raphael, have you sparred with Ryan Hall? No, I haven't. I've met Ryan Hall We've only talked briefly, but no, I have not. He's very very good with his style. In a jiu-jitsu sense, he's very difficult to deal with. So, all right. I'm glad you guys like the Habib videos. Bill Parkinson, you want to clearly? No, I don't. She's one of my students, and again, dude, I don't know why you got to like quit with that shit. So, um, did you watch Thor versus the Black Belt? No, I don't think I know which one you're talking about. Um, I like the slam defense you showed in the don't hold guard video. Yeah, definitely you got to work on like how to keep your balance if you get lifted. You don't want to get lifted, but if it happens, you got to deal with it. Thoughts on COVID and training? I know California is making it tough. Isaiah, yeah. As far as COVID goes, guys, like I I think I told you guys like I got COVID. So we had COVID come through and it wasn't fun for me. For most younger people, it seems to be not very difficult for most people, but it's definitely once you hit the ages of around 40 years old and up, it seems like it can really fuck you up. So, my thoughts on COVID and training. I'm like dead in the middle. So I'm not COVID is not a hoax in my opinion, but where you get like a lot of hardcore conservatives saying that, or it's just nothing. We should just open up everything and just fucking let everybody. Let's get herd immunity as fast as we can. No, I don't believe in that. At the same time, I do believe this is America that we live in, and I do believe we should make choices. I think that young, strong people that are willing to take risks. My personal feeling is that we should be able to go out and do certain things. It's all about where you draw the line, and I don't think we. I have a hard time with full lockdowns, but I've gotten used to mask wearing when you go to grocery stores. I mean, that's a normal thing for us in California, so I've gotten used to it. I don't have a problem with that. That's reasonable, but what I don't like is when businesses have to shut down and cannot operate. I think that if people want to take certain risks, I think it's a difficult situation because I know the answer to that, or the counter argument from the COVID is super dangerous side, is that you could unknowingly infect someone, and I totally get that. I totally understand, but it's it's a compromise in my opinion. We gotta find the middle ground between the two. We definitely can't like destroy our economy because there's people that are getting hurt in other ways that aren't COVID, but they are in relation to the lockdowns. So whether it be suicide or businesses going under, and drug abuse and spousal abuse, domestic abuse. There's so many things that play into it and factor into it, and it's very difficult to calculate and tabulate everything. But I don't believe that full lockdowns are correct, and I also don't think that we should go out and endanger everyone all at once and make it where the hospitals and the healthcare workers are stretched too thin, where you can't take care of everybody at once. It is real. It is something. I try to talk to people about, it doesn't matter if you think it's only 1% dangerous or even a 0.5%, whatever you think it is. It's still something that can hurt you and it can kill you. I hope that, all of your guys' families, if you guys know anybody that's been touched by it, there's without a doubt people that are dying because of it. And yeah, they may be a little older or unhealthy, but that doesn't mean we should just kill them all. I mean, people are dying every single day. If you guys don't know, I mean, like I know people that have died of this already. So, it's a dangerous thing. So I know of a 42-year-old that died of COVID, and 42 is my age. He wasn't that old, and he's no longer there, and the family is left without a father and without a husband and 4 children, and they're not going to see their father ever again. So it has hit me close to home where it's someone I know. So you also get a different perspective when something like that happens. So he was just buried this past week. So that's all I'll say about COVID. Anyway, I hope you guys understand or whatever. Whatever. Let's move on. So I'm new to jiu-jitsu. What minimum techniques do you think I need to learn before being confident rolling rounds? You need to know all your positions. It'd be nice to know all the positions, have a basic game plan of where you should be going. It's not easy. You can still roll, but as far as being confident, you're not going to be confident for a very long time until you have a basic repertoire of offense and defense and a basic blueprint game plan of where you should be going in each position. Like, for example, if you're in the guard, you should know that you're trying to create posture, separate the guard, open the guard, pass the guard. Once you get into side control, you want to try to get to the mount or take the back or execute a submission from there if you have a proper setup. You want to know how to escape the back, escape the mount, escape side control. And like I said, pass the guard. You should know a takedown or two and how to defend takedowns. Some basic things. That at that point, Taz, you will be confident, at least to a certain degree. 46-year-old blue belt, 1 stripe, haven't been on the mat in 1 year due to my elbow being blown out from an Americana. Ooh, am I done with jiu-jitsu? That sucks, bro. What happened? Did the guy go too hard or did you just not tap? That sucks. I hope so did you get surgery? Is that T Willie? It looks like we got Xavier in the house, one of our blue belt members, or is that a purple belt? It's so hard to see. Can't really tell. When new people join your gym, how do you get them started? I usually give them a basic rundown, kind of like the stuff I just said a while ago, Xavier. I'll talk about, try to explain what jiu-jitsu is, what our main goals are. I talk about the strengths of it. I talk about the weaknesses of it, how it plays into self-defense, how it is also a sport and also just kind of like a fun way to work out. I let them know that they're going to lose quite a bit in the beginning. I let them know that sparring is something they should do, but they should take it slow and not injure themselves. So I teach them the positions. I try to teach, I start with a lot of times, like what I did tonight. I had a brand new guy tonight, Xavier, and I started out, I said, look, I'm going to teach you the checkmate, like chess. I'm going to teach you a checkmate. So the checkmate was guillotine, and then we're going to work our way backward. So I showed him what a guillotine was. He felt the guillotine. He learned what tapping out is. He learned, like the danger, understanding that he can get seriously injured if he waits too long to tap. So I taught him that. Once he experienced what it was, like getting choked, he was like, damn, he's never experienced this before. And then I worked my way backward. I taught him a defense for the choke. So now he knows a little bit if he ever gets caught in a guillotine. Sure, he's brand new, so he's probably still going to get caught by a good guy. But if it's a beginner, maybe he can defend it. And then if he can defend the guillotine, then I explain to him what's our next goal. Our goal would be to, like, for example, pass the guard if we were in a guillotine in the guard. And then I showed him where those positions are. I explained to him the context of MMA or self-defense. Like if you get in the mount, you can be in a really good position to throw strikes. If your opponent exposes himself, you can attack him with a submission or take his back, for example, and then finish with the rear naked, which is probably the most common thing you can do to a untrained opponent, which is find your way on top, find your way into the mount, passing the guard, and then throwing a few strikes and then making him turn his back and then getting a rear naked choke. I think that's where most beginners should start. Okay, Ethiopian Phenomenon. Thank you for the $2 super chat. What type of BJJ techniques are not applicable for MMA? There's probably quite a bit. Some are not like, it's not like cut and dry, like applicable or not applicable. but they have like gray areas where they may work every now and then. Like take for example the guy that got bombed the other night, with the guard. Jumping guard is something like I'm pretty against. Like, don't do it. But you know what? Occasionally a guy will jump guard and then he'll get a guy right in an armbar or a triangle, or even just like maybe he jumps guard and climbs up and gets a guillotine. Those kind of things can happen. And so it's not really cut and dry. Like it'll never work. They're not applicable. Like I would call them not applicable, but they still can work. And I'm obviously very well versed in a lot of sport techniques, so I'm aware of how to pull them off if I really really need to. I would basically use them if I felt like they were going to be usable in that situation. But for the most part, if you keep it real simple, you could cancel out a lot of BJJ techniques. Like, um, again, it's also your body type, you guys. Like for some people, a triangle is not a applicable BJJ technique. Like for some people, because they can't even lock a triangle on anybody close to their size at all. The only way they could lock a triangle is on a 10-year-old, because their legs just aren't built for it. And some people say, well, they can still do it. Yeah, but they can't really lock the triangle the right way. They can maybe cross their ankles and still make a choke, but it's not exactly the way that most people do it. So there's also a body type factor that factors into what's applicable to MMA for each individual. It may change. Some guys are really, really good. I mean, if you guys watched combat jiu-jitsu, you've got the buggy technique. What was it? Rutolo pulls off the buggy choke. And man, if you're like really good at the buggy choke, boom. Who said that's not good for MMA? He just pulled it off in a combat jiu-jitsu match. So where a guy could strike on the ground. And the guy took him down. And you know, it's still something you could do. So anyway, you just had the flu like every year. It's detox. It's a hoax for me. We are losing rights daily. The poor are dying. Yeah, that's tough, Raphael. I understand. I totally get where you're coming from, but it's not a hoax. I'm telling, like Raphael, we were hit pretty hard with it. It was not a hoax. I almost went to the hospital, but I didn't want to tell everybody like everything. My experience with COVID, but I think for a lot of people it's no problem, but for me it was not, and it's pretty bad. So it's pretty bad. I have a couple people I know. So it depends. It really depends on the person, and not all. And let me say this: not all people that have a hard time with it are straight up unhealthy or 85 years old. I mean, there are some. I'm 42. There are some people like my age that are reasonably healthy, and it can get you. I mean, so that's all I'm saying. I just think what's sad about it is that because it is a small percentage, even if it's only 1% of people that get it, or even it doesn't matter if it's a 0.5% or a 0.25%. If you want to argue that there's many more people that have the cases of it that just weren't tested positive, it's still. I mean, if you do the math, I don't care if it's 1 out of 200 people that die. That's still something. I certainly would not jump out of an airplane if they told me you had a 1 out of 200 chance that you could die. I wouldn't take those odds personally. So you guys are fucking hilarious. What do you do when you get a boner? Fucking idiots. Oh, you guys. What's your thoughts on judo for MMA? Yeah, it's great. Judo's awesome. You got to have more than just judo. Judo is very sporty. It's similar to wrestling. If you only have wrestling for MMA, you're not going to do well. Like wrestling and MMA is not. Everybody thinks it's good. It's not. So wrestling is really only good if you fight another guy who is very limited, just like you. So judo on its own, not so good. But judo mixing it up with some kickboxing, maybe working on your submissions a little bit more than just what judo usually offers, then you're set. Learning a little bit of wrestling, then you're set. So, hmm, what kind of conditioning workouts do you prefer for MMA grappling? Oh shoot, I lost my place. Coach, like running or more sprints. Um, I like I like doing the sport more than I like running or sprints, but sprints are good. I do really like hill running, like hill sprints. I do like that, but to help with your conditioning. But I think getting fresh guys on you and grappling hard with fresh guys, putting the pressure on you, I think is the absolute best thing for your conditioning. You'll get to a point where you want to give up, and you got to be pushed to fight through the problems and continue. So, all right. Again, we got like a lot of like bullshit from people. Let's see. What time is it over here? We're getting close to midnight, so I'm gonna have to hit my bedtime real soon. I got to trade. We got. I've been doing quite a bit of day trading, and I got to check the market at 1 a.m. and then wake up real early. What's your go-to takedown against an unknown opponent? High percentage, low risk coach. Um, an unknown opponent. I just, I don't know if you're speaking of like if you're speaking of straight grappling. I'm probably gonna get a tie up, and I'm gonna know a lot more about my opponent once I get in a tie up. So once you tie up with your opponent, you get to learn a lot about them really quick. If they feel really, really good, like they know what's up, then obviously I'm going to be checking setups. I really like. Uh, I don't know if I've shown it on video, but I like to head dip elbow pass the collar tie. I like to rush into on one a lot. Um, so I like those kind of ties to get started with movement. I like pushing and snapping. I like club and dig, get my underhooks. So I like to feint, see how my opponent reacts. I also like to take a shot. So I like to check an outside single or check a shot to see how they react. If you stay in good position when you shoot, you should be fine taking a shot and not coming out of position. Um, so those are some things that I like. But did I miss the super chat? Okay, Ethiopian phenomenon. We don't see more anaconda Darce chokes. I feel like it's a great submission to attempt right after sprawling someone out after a failed takedown. Yeah, I mean, it is a good move. Um, the anaconda is a lot, it depends on who's shooting Ethiopian. So like if I sprawl on an opponent who shoots, I personally like the sacrifice Darce a little bit more, where you come into the Darce and you kind of roll over to your back when an opponent extends the arm and exposes this area. So I do like that one a little bit more than the anaconda. I think the anaconda can work too. It depends if you have long enough arms. Some guys with really long arms, like a Tony Ferguson type, they really, really like those chokes. So it is a great submission, but at the same time, it can be real difficult on a good opponent who knows how to keep elbows in. Maybe they shoot, you sprawl, they know how to control your elbow, keep their other elbow in. It's not quite that simple, but on a lot of people it is. I do agree with you, especially if you're good at them. If you're good at them, but in answer to your question, why don't we see it more? Maybe you're thinking of like an MMA, and I think a lot of guys don't either aren't skilled enough at those chokes, but I think also they might be a little too afraid of committing to it and then maybe losing position. And they feel like it's much safer to just maybe sprawl and try to get back up to your feet, or maybe spin to the back, which is the more traditional technique. Um, and usually when you try to spin to somebody's back and they're good, they keep their arms up, their horn, what I call the horn drill. They keep their horns up and then they come back up to their feet. So that's probably why you don't see it as much. But I do agree with you that they are good techniques, especially if you're really good at applying them. But at the same time, it's not cut and dry. There's good things that you need to know when you shoot so that you don't get caught in that stuff, and it's not that hard. So anyway, get out of the financial markets, Bill, with separatist perspective. You will lose money. Yeah, Bill, I'm not in the market. I'm in and out. So I am not currently in the market right now at all. So I'm anxiously waiting for the next fall. So I think we're going to see a pullback in the not too distant future. So I am anxiously awaiting it as I trade very cautiously every day. So why not stress rolling back takes? Oh, that's a good idea. I actually just showed that on a video not too long ago, George. Um, Coach, for street situation, I don't usually get opportunities of an over under. Well, when you clinch, um, I mean, like, I don't know how many street fights you're getting in, but if you get in a clinch, it's going to be a body lock. A body lock is going to be available of some sort. Unless you're fighting another wrestler that knows how to defend it, you're going to have a body lock. If a guy knows how to get an underhook, then you'll end up in the over under. But okay, is it fine to just use body locks and slam? Well, yeah, and you don't have to slam a guy all the time. Um, Sometimes you can just take the guy down if you don't want to if you don't want to go to prison for killing him on the concrete. You can take a guy down without slamming him on the back of his head from a body lock as well if you learn enough. I mean, sometimes it can get a little out of control. I get it. Your opponent clings to you and he may fall down a little hard, but like I said, the more you know, the more you don't have to bomb people. Like you guys see in all those videos of street fights where you see a guy, these are guys that are untrained, but they simply get in a struggle with the punches, and then one guy grabs the other, lifts him, and then plants him right on his head, and the guy's knocked out. Um, yeah, if you want to end the fight that fast, you can do that. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. If you know what you're doing. So a lot of those guys are just untrained and they're very strong and they're explosive and they just lift and chuck the dude. So anyway, yeah. So Marco, I would like to actually be with Marco as well. Street situation, laughing my ass off, grow up. Um, yeah, like Nathan, what's up, man? Like, why are you getting in street fights? I don't mind talking about the subject, but are you really getting in street fights? Street situation like it's something pretentious. I literally mean concrete instead of mat against a resisting untrained opponent. Yes. So there you go. So I'm not reading ahead, guys. I'm reading the comments as they come. Thank you, Adam. All right. Would you tell your white belts to Imanari roll? No. No, I would not. No day one inversions. Yeah, prison does not sound fun. How much has teaching had on your own skills? I think a ton, Dexter. When you teach something, I think it does make you better, as said by many people. When you teach something, it forces you to actually look at your details, and then you learn. I learned something today teaching someone. I was working with people on a submission that I use quite a bit, a shoulder lock off the Phantom, and I learned something about how during the teaching process I didn't even realize I did. So I was doing something and I didn't even realize I was doing it until I had to teach it. So it just kind of came naturally to me. But when he had a problem, it forced me to learn. So I feel like I got better today. Hey, thanks a lot, Nathan. So, hi, Coach. I and my family had COVID-19. What really helped me was wet cupping. See a lot of sportsmen going this route of cupping. Yeah, Mohammed. If you want to do it, you can. I'm not a big believer in cupping, but I do think it can have certain benefits. I think that it does help you, much like um, other types of therapeutics can help you. I don't think it's actually doing a whole lot personally, but if you believe it helps you, I think it's a little bit psychosomatic personally. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but that's what I feel. But until I can be proven, I need to be proven otherwise. So, oh, catch jitsu. Um, I'm sorry. Fuck. Help me out. Shit, I forgot your name for a second. Serious. I totally know you, but um, Dan the Wolfman. You skipped my comments, meaning you did indeed wear red woman's panties, just like a certain other wrestler in UFC 13. I don't know what you mean by that, but what's up, Dan? For a second, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot your name for a second. I just blanked. Um, so Opiate, thank you so much. Coach, do you have any MMA matches? And what BJJ belt are you? I'm a black belt. I don't have any real MMA matches other than the one that I put on my channel. Um, I didn't record a lot of shit back then, and the stuff I did record, it's very difficult. Like I lost it all. I'm stupid. I competed in a lot of tournaments, and I at one point back in the day in the 90s and early 2000s, I'd have some stuff on camera, but those cameras back then, guys, I mean, real quick, it would end up like in at somebody else's house and then just totally ruined. We used to have these like cassette style um, uh, uh, tapes, and you would put them in the video camcorder or camera recorder, and it was bad. They would just get ruined, and then you'd leave them. You'd put them up in the attic or in a box somewhere, and then over time, they would just get ruined. Or you'd find them in heat or different temperatures would just melt them. I had tapes get next to something that was too hot, like a heater, and then ruined, melted, lost footage. It sucks. So anyway, how important is it to you to train on outside on different surfaces instead of the mat? I think it's pretty important. I think it's important to like feel that every once in a while. Isaiah, what the fuck is wet cupping? Uh, GSP or Habib? Um, you know, they're different weight classes. If they're the same weight class, I might have to go with Habib. But if Habib were to go up to 170, I don't know, man. But you're also talking about when GSP's older. So if they're in their primes, I would probably pick GSP. If Habib had to go to 170, if GSP went to 155, I'd pick Habib. So that's my pick. But who knows? We'll never know. Do you have any extraordinary tips on recovery from training? Um, ice your joints. If you got pains, ice them. Get a massage. What else can I say? Stretching. If you do a lot of stretching, you'll be better off, Marco. So, guys, I'm sorry. I've got a I've got an early morning. I'm gonna have to cut this thing at some point. So if there's any more, I got to do it. If there's any more super chats, I can probably answer you guys. But if not, I'm going to have to get some rest. Yeah, thank you, Isaiah. I appreciate you. Um, so, Hey, you know what? Fabro Bin, he says your channel is unequivocally the most educational source of martial arts ever. People should be paying for your videos, man. I really appreciate that. So I really appreciate you saying that. Um, so I'm gonna have to leave it at that. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys all. I'm sorry if I couldn't answer your question. I tried to get to as many as I could. Guys, it is already past 12. I've been at it about an hour, and again, I've got like a busy day tomorrow. Lots of stuff to do. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Please keep watching the channel. I got more. I gotta get some stuff. I gotta get that push to get some content back, new content in the membership only. And then there's so much content I still have left over for you guys, and it just keeps coming. So every day I keep thinking of new things. So okay, Dan the Wolf Man, I'm gonna finish with you, bro. The only real jujitsu or the only real jitsu worthwhile is catch jitsu. Though I suppose a wrestler teaching jujitsu isn't bad either. Come on, motherfucker. Hey, you guys. If you guys want, you guys can go over to Catch Jitsu. He's got a channel, Dan the Wolf Man. He's a little fruity with his moves. The catch wrestlers, they love to show you some fancy bullshit that may only work if you're fucking strong and you manhandle your opponent because he's tiny. But he's got some good stuff. I had to give it back to you a little bit, Dan. Now Dan's a good guy, you guys. Go check out his channel. So he's invading my little live right here, but he's a good guy. We trained together a little bit way back in the day, so he knows me. He knows me pretty well, and I know him. So he's a good guy, good person. Um, Hope you're doing well, Dan. And I'll take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys next time with more great stuff. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.